output. Yeah, I've not even, my apologies, I've not started recording. Okay, I guess someone has started that. Yeah, thank you, Emmanuel. Okay, yeah. So after the whole creation of user-defined functions, what we'll go over to is we'll go to creation of user-defined functions using peak grunts. So I can remember when I took you guys on Hadoop 2 ecosystem, I told you guys about other Hadoop components or other Hadoop softwares that we make use of. I know I spoke about your IFQL, your HBase, your pig and grunt like that. Your pig grunt like that, and all other components I would have mentioned. So now, if time permits us, we'll also look at creation of user-defined functions using pig grunt. So basically, I know you guys would have created all sorts of functions. Actually, in your R class, you would have written some functions to do one or two things, maybe add a number to a list, remove a number from a list, pop up a number, or stack names or stack data in different forms. Anyhow, I'm sure you guys would have done something, created your own customized user-defined functions. So the logic here is that the little things you can do with your normal scripting language like your normal scripting language like your R and Python, it is also possible for you to do it in IFQL also. So we'll be demonstrating that. Then when we go over to the pig grunt program, writing user-defined functions with pig grunt program, we would also be looking at how we can do that also. Yeah, how we can. So basically, almost everything follows the same syntax. This time around, we first of all go to Java, create a Java project, write our source code, write our functions in Java. Then, after writing it in Java, we would export it as a JAR file. Then we'll plug them as extensions or plugins into whatsoever Hadoop components we want to use. So now I'm going to be sharing my screen. First of all, I need to start my lab environment. I know this class is unexpected, so I wouldn't bother so much if some of you are not following like hands-on. But I would really appreciate if you can follow up with the class. If you can get a system and try to practice alongside with me. Okay. Yeah, well, I don't know. Is it too early for me to ask also? So I know from last class I told, yeah, there's some little takeaways like trying to implement or use my SQL in the command line. Has anybody been able to do it? Been able to do that? Okay, let me call the involved parties. Yola Daniel, Marvelous. Apart from using the MySQL client command line in the installation folder, in the bin folder itself, have you been able to call MySQL directly from your own system command line? Or you haven't had time to go through that also? I will totally understand because it was just a short while. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, when I browsed through for ways to go about it, it was not responding, and I noticed it was quite similar to what you were trying to put down through while you were with us yesterday. That's my SQL, then hyphen you, the username, yes, then hyphen p, which is the password. Yeah, but it was not responding. So I don't
Oh,
really know why that was.
okay, so I think I already gave the answer to that yesterday if you still couldn't do it. So I wanted to ask now, the current, you use MySQL Workbench, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now the data you play with in your MySQL Workbench, did you guys load it inside it directly?
Yes, sir.
So it's like, oh, did you run a script? Okay, did you load the data from a flat file? What I mean by a flat file is maybe an Excel file, a CSV file, or you just wrote a script to input data into the different tables and schemas you've created. Was that what you did?
For me, I imported, I created the structure of the table, Are you getting me? Then I imported the what do you call it? I imported the data from a CSV file
Oh,
into
that's
my.
wow. Okay. So that's great. So now, the reason why you can't most likely access MySQL from command line is because you don't have any MySQL DB on your system. You don't have any MySQL database engine running on your system. Or I was thinking initially that it is because you've not added MySQL to your environment variable. I'm not so sure. I would also, but I know if you have a MySQL DB running on your system, it would be very easy for you to call MySQL from the command line. You don't have to start setting MySQL environment variable. Just give me a minute. Yes, so like I said, you don't have any MySQL DB database engine running on your system. So that's most likely why you can't do that. Because if you've installed any of the MySQL DB in your system, you would be able to call MySQL directly without having to without having to add it to your path or environment variable in your system. So you can still look it up later, sha, but I just know it's fun running my SQL script from command line. Like I've enjoyed it much more than having to run it from Workbench because it is faster, like I told you guys. The operations and computing process is faster compared to when you do everything directly from your Workbench ID. So now I'm going to share my system screen. Yeah,
Are
my
you
lab
listening?
environment is ready. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so if I may add, what then is the difference between the command line client and, because I feel it's kind of the same. When I use the command line client, it works just fine. Just I mean, so is there really any distinct difference between both?
So basically, just like I told you guys yesterday, some of these things you wouldn't know the difference until you've had the experience with it. So now I told you guys from my experience with it, the command line does things faster than the workbench, than the GUI itself. Yes. So computing is faster than the GUI itself. So now the command line itself, if you run scripts there, apart from the fact that it is faster, it gives you flexibility. To me, Sha, I see that it's much more flexible. Yeah. And
Okay,
the process and the heavy lifting, okay, how would I put it? The heavy lifting, meaning the work itself, is on your system's RAM. Is not based on what is allocated. Like now, if you are running your workbench, your system would have allocated some resources to allow your MySQL workbench run. Do you get? So let's say you have 8 gig of RAM now. So that 8 gig of RAM you're using on your system now. So let's say your MySQL Workbench is using about 500 MB to run on your system. But if you are doing it, so that means anything you run on your MySQL Workbench, it will run based on the resources that is being made available to MySQL Workbench GUI client. But anything you run on your command line, like as if you are running it directly, the workload is on your system's memory itself directly. Do you get? That's why if you notice, whenever you want to install some things, some people will tell you it's better for you to use the command line installation than a GUI installation because it's like you're accessing the system, yeah, the system in that directory itself. You're having access to all of the system's memory and resources. So that's the major difference. It's faster and for better computing.
okay. Because the reason why I'm asking is the command line client is just like the command line for me, from what I can see here. It's just like, and from yesterday to today, I've tried using it, and just like you said, it was faster, and just like you said, it gives the summary of how many seconds it took to. to initiate the whole sequence and run it and bring back the result. So then that was what made me to ask actually that what then is the difference between both, because for me, from what I can see, it looks more like the
Oh,
same. But
wait, do you mean the command line clients? Is that what you're
yes,
saying? Oh, are you saying
yes,
running the one inside the MySQL installation directory itself?
yes.
Yes, because I know
Abi,
there is a similar command line, MySQL command line, that comes with the installation that you can run. Then it gives you a command line kind of environment. Is that the
yes,
one you're
that's what
referring to?
I'm. Yes, exactly,
So
sir.
yes, now it is actually cool. Just that with that one, I haven't, yeah, like I told you, I've not used it so much like that. I don't think you would, like I will still tell you, it is not like using your system command line itself. It is not like
Okay.
using, there are some things you would have access to when you're using your normal command line to do it, compared to when you're using the command line client. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Let's just see
Thank
it
you.
that way.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so thank you for talking about that. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's great. Yeah, so according to the lab manual, the very first thing we need to do is we need to start our Hadoop environment. So I'll go to the terminal. As usual, first thing first, you set your Hadoop environment variable to avoid the native loader warning. So to do that, let me open the text file where I have the code for that. Okay, so that is that. I'll try to make it interactive. Yeah, so to start Hadoop, as usual, the code is startall.sh. Okay, so it is currently loading. So after starting Hadoop, we're to start start Eclipse, create a new Java project, change our workspace, then put in our code, export it as a jar file. Then we'll start our Hive environment, call the jar file we just created, then put in our input file and use the function, run an HiveQL script or query with our input file, check the results, and that is all for the first lab. Okay, so I need to check everything is fine. GPS. Okay, so I'm going to start my Eclipse environment now. Okay, the next thing is to choose our workspace. Okay, so I'm doing this lab for the very first time. Okay, yeah. So we're going to give our workspace the name IUDF, that's user defined functions. Okay. Okay. Yes, so everything is okay. So I'm going to be calling people to direct me the normal syntax of map reduce jobs and the rest. So how do we do it? There should be some things that is already like we should be accustomed to some things. Okay, let me check the participant list and call people. Okay, yeah, so I guess I'll just take it from the top. No, I'll take it from the bottom. So Sunday, what's the next thing I'm meant to do now? Is Sunday with us? Hello, Sunday, are you with us?
Hello, sir.
Yes, so what's the next thing I'm meant to do? I've launched Eclipse. What's the next thing I'm meant to do from my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so what's the next thing I'm meant to do?
We want to create a project.
So I already explained the process to us from the beginning, because I know if I don't explain the process and tell us everything we want to do, probably maybe Hubert or Henry will call me and ask me, oh, what are we trying to do in this lab? So I already said it for the first lab, the second lab, and even the third lab. No, I haven't said that for the third lab. I just said, yeah. So now for the first lab, I already said that. So what we're trying to do is we are trying to customize our own user-defined functions in Hive. Just like all those aggregated functions you use in SQL, your minimum, your max, your distinct, and the rest, your MVL, and the rest. So there's a source code behind all those functions that makes them to run just exactly the way you want it. So in this lab, let me take it again for those people that were not here before. In this lab, we are going to create a similar function like that. But what the function will be doing is, it's just like in your SQL now, if you call the function, if you call the function minimum, it will give you the minimum of whatever you're looking for. So in this lab, we are going to create a function called to English UK. That's the name of the function. So what to English UK will do is that whatever your input file or column name is, or whatsoever your input data is, it will try to convert that particular word to from American English to British English, to English UK. So you are going from English US to English UK. And the particular word we are looking at in this lab is the color word. That's so in American English it is spelled as COLOR, and in English UK it is spelled as COLOUR. So, and I said the process of creating our own user-defined function for our SQL, in this case, which is our IFQL, is that we'll create a Java project. After creating a Java project, so the normal process of creating a Java project that we've been doing so far, we'll create a Java project, then we'll put in our code, then export it as a JAR file. So right now, I've launched my Eclipse environment. This is what I have on the screen. What am I to do next? From the point of creating a Java project to the point of exporting that project as a JAR file, I want you guys to direct me. So that's why I said I'll be calling on people individually at random to tell me what to do. Because we've done this for almost all the MapReduce labs and the previous other labs we've done in the past. So Sunday, this is what I have on my screen. Where am I to go to next? Sunday, are you with us?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Okay. So from what you can see on my screen, what am I to do next?
Uh, Click on workbench, sir.
Okay. That was all. That was all I expected from you. So thank you for answering my question.
Okay, sir. All right, sorry.
Okay. So now the next person, Richard, what am I to do next? Yeah. Tell me what I'm to do next.
Okay, I think you just right click on the project, then go to the part.
You said,
Right click on the project.
have I created any project? You can see my screen, sir. What am I to do next?
No, right click on the environment, like that is you have your project explorer.
Okay, so I should right click on my project explorer. Then what should I do? I guess you're a step ahead of me. I've right clicked.
No. Right click on yeah. Hello, are you here? Wait, sorry.
Yeah, I can hear you.
So go on new.
Okay.
Then click on the projects.
Okay. Then what next? I already told us the kind of project it is.
Okay, so go on the Java project.
Okay, so thank you for answering my question. All I just needed from you was we are to create a new project. The new project we are creating is a Java project. Then you direct me on how to create a Java project. Okay, so that's that. I'll click on next. So I need to check the next person on my list. Okay, yeah, let me just give the project a name. Yeah, so the project name will be UDF. So the UDF there stands for user defined functions. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and we're using Java SE 1.7. Okay, so what else? Okay, so I'll click finish and I'll click yes. Okay, yeah, that's great. So let me check for the next person on the list. So I'm coming from the top now. Adetoro, what's the next thing I'm to do? I've created my project. Can you see my screen?
Okay. Yes.
Okay.
The project in
Okay, so I'm clicking on the project, right? Then where do I go to?
no, I said you should expand it like
Okay.
yeah. Okay, so since you are not using amazing build, I think we'll be deleting this one.
Okay, you said we should be deleting the source folder. But my very first question, why do we delete the source folder? Are we not meant to do something first before deleting the source folder?
Okay, like create the classes.
You said?
Creating the classes.
Creating
The
or what?
classes.
Creating the classes. Richard already said it, so the response I'm expecting from you, Richard has told us what to do already, though he said that first. Meanwhile, I wanted him to just tell us to create the Java project. So you want to call someone to help you. Don't call any of the data engineering guys. Or you still want to tell me something? Or call another analyst friend to help you out. Because I really want us to understand this whole process. I keep doing it every time. I don't know if you guys even know how to do it. Okay. I've created the project just as Richard has told us to do. Though this current step we are meant to take now, that was what Richard said the first time. So I'm
I didn't hear
giving
it. The package name.
now. So we are meant to configure our build path. When you create a project, the next thing is to configure your build path. So when I asked Richard about what to do, he told me we are meant to configure our build path. But we can't configure a build path if we have not created a project yet. So right now we have created a project, which is our Java project. The next thing is to configure your build path. So it is the same syntax for any kind of project you are working on, be it a Maven project or a Java project. You create your project, you configure your build path. If it is Java, configure your build path. Then after configuring your build path, we'll now go on with what you said, what you just said. Okay, so I'll ask the next person. So if I unmute your microphone, okay. I don't know why I can't see these guys' names. Okay, so I guess it should be either be Toby or you, but okay, Toby. Yes, there should be Toby Adedeji. I don't know. I'm seeing admin at Analytics 992.
Correct. There's Toby here.
Okay, so Toby, now how would we configure our build path? What are the steps I'm meant to take? You can see my screen. Direct me.
Right. Click on your project.
Okay. So you have this.
After I click and I can't see it. So you go to build path.
Okay, can you see it now?
Build path. I'm saying it.
Okay.
Oh yes, I can see your yes. Build path and then configure build path.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yes, you're welcome, sir.
Okay. Okay, so that's that. So now, so the next thing is I'm going to add my external jars. So from what I can see here, I'll go to libraries, then go to add external jars. Oh, I should have asked someone this question. Okay, let me just continue with it. I'll go to add external jars, then I'll go to my file system, look for, okay, so we're told to look for the external jar we are working with today is just a single one. Since we are going to be making use of the jar file with our Hive platform. Okay, so I've just come to user, then local. So this time around, like I told you, it is an Hive. Yeah, we are working with an Hive platform. We are trying to create a user-defined function for Hive QL. So from Hive, I'll start to go to library. Then from library, I'll start to look for Hive execute 1.2.1.jar. Okay. Yep. So that's that. Okay. So just press Ctrl A. Then next thing is to click OK. Okay. I know this question has been answered, but I'm going to use it to get someone who is not listening. So eBet now, how far now? What am I to do next? I just configured the build part. So what am I to do next?
So that you just hurt my feelings, but that's fine. I'll be listening. Anyways, what you're going to do after building the build your path is to delete your source folder to avoid interference. So once you delete it and then you create it again.
Okay, thank you very much. My apologies for hurting your feelings.
No, it's cool,
And
cool.
thank you for not disappointing. So
No
please
problem.
give me the steps. How do I delete? What do I
Okay,
do?
so you right click on the source on the present source folder that's there already.
Okay. Can you see?
Yeah, and delete. Okay.
So what am
Then
I doing?
right click on the yes, right click on the project and create source folder. Source. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank
That's
you
fine.
very much.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So that's that. Yeah. Okay. So the next question now. What am I going to call? I don't call the engineering guys. It's going to be chilled for them. Yes, so I'll take it from bottom now. If you terminal, what am I to do next? Okay, let me give you a recap of what we've done. We are trying to create a Java project and export it as a Java file. So far we've created our project, all thanks to Sunday. So all thanks to Richard. So after creating our project, all thanks to Toro and Toby, all thanks to Toro, Toby and Henry and Hubert, what we did next was we configured our build paths. Then the next thing we did was to delete our source folder also, then created a new one. So now after doing all of that, what are we to do next?
I think after creating source folder, or right click on the folder
Okay.
and select new, then select class.
Okay, so thank you very much. So after creating a new source folder, after deleting and creating a new source folder, the next thing we have to do is create a new Java class for whatsoever code or algorithm we want to implement. So in our normal MapReduce program, the very first class we'll try to create will be the word mapper class, which is a Java class, and we'll try to implement the mapper algorithm or mapping function. So the package name we are using is the previous old one, which is com.let's do big data. Okay. And the name of this class we are creating, this time around, it is not our word mapper class. So we are creating a to English UK class. So basically, we are just creating one class in this project, in this Java project. And that one class is enough for us to implement our algorithm that tells the compiler that wherever you see the American English word COLOR, replace it with a COLOUR. Okay, so that's that. We'll click on finish. Yeah, so our coding environment should appear straight. Okay, so I guess this is the simplest. to do. This is the simplest to do. So I'm going to ask the last person this question. Okay. So Henry, what am I to do next?
We're going to copy code from wherever pasted that window.
Okay, now thank you very much. Yeah, that's right. So we are going to copy our code from wherever it is. Okay. So you guys tried. That's a nice one. I'm really impressed. Thank you very much for that. That's awesome. Please, I know one thing for sure. If at all you might have forgotten, you've been reminded the syntax for creating a Java project and exporting it as a JAR file. Okay. So if I'm going to, can you all see my screen? If I'm just going to brush through the code, so I'm going to highlight this for you guys to see. So you can see these case statements, the conditional case statements. Wherever you see color, that's COLOR, you replace it with COLOUR, which you can see here. So there are four case statements here. Color when everything is in lowercase, color when the first letter is in uppercase, then you have the plural form. And when the first letter is also in uppercase. So this is what you have here. Yep. So now, yes, so one more thing. Yeah, there's something I'm meant to do. So I'm going to ask, I'm going to start from top again. So I did Toro. So now what would we do next? So we've pasted our code into the coding environment. We are meant to do something next.
Build.
Yeah, thank you very much. So we are going to build our code, our project or our code. So I'll disable build automatically. Go to builder. Yeah. So there are no errors. It's done building. So I'll try to save all. Okay, everything is fine. Then we're in the final phase of this Java project. There's something we are going to do next. So we are done coding. We are not creating any class anymore. We are not writing any code anymore. It's just the final step of getting the end product of our project. So, okay, so I'm going to call someone. Henry, how far now? So what's the next thing we have to do?
You say just told me now.
Okay, so what's the next thing we have to do, Henry? We are done coding, we are done building our project, there are no errors, everything is fine.
Okay, so I think we have to export it.
We have to do what?
We have to export it to
Yeah.
the terminal.
Yeah, you are correct. We have to export our project. Yeah. So how do we export our project? Give me the steps. Give me the very first step. The other person would help us with the rest. Another person will help us with the rest.
I think we right click on that project again.
Okay.
And click on export.
You said?
And click on export.
Okay, thank you very much. That's that. So thank you, Henry. That's awesome. Nice one there. Okay. Richard, I'm back to you. So here is our export tab. What am I to do next? I already told us the end product of this our Java project. It should be a Java file. So how do I go about that? Richard, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here. You go to your job.
Okay, so I'll go to Java.
Then click on Java.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, so that's that. So thank you everyone.
Where do you get the code for this one? Right code?
Okay, so the code is the code snippet is the text file called ivanpig underscore ivudf.txt. ivanpig underscore ivudf.txt. So now thank you very much, guys. Yeah, you guys built everything yourself. You were able, I'm happy that you guys were able to direct me from the beginning of the end, from the beginning of this project, creating the Java project, down to exporting it as a Java file. Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much. And I'm sure I've been able to remind some people who might have forgotten some little things. The reason why I didn't ask the engineering guys is because they most likely do it almost every time since they practice. So it will be easier for them to remember this compared to you guys doing the analyst track. Okay, so everything is done. Yeah, so that's all. We are done exporting our Java file. Yeah, we are done with the first process. So the next process now is just like I told you guys, when we create the source code for the aggregated function we want to create in SQL. I'm calling it SQL. So as I'm saying SQL, just take it like I'm referring to HQL, your IFQL. Because I know if I use SQL, it is easier for you guys to understand. So we are done with creating the source code for, let's say, your minimum function or your distinct function in SQL. The next thing now is start our HQL environment. Then, yeah, there's also another task here, creating our text file. Yeah, so you guys also direct me on how to create a text file. Is Daniel in this class? Okay, so Daniel is not here today. How come we're 11 and Daniel is not here? Are you guys 11?
It's showing just 10 participants here. I don't know if there's any remain.
On my side, it's showing 11 participants. Okay, it's currently showing 10 now. Did someone leave or what? Wow, that's strange. Wow, there's no need to leave. If someone is using 2 accounts to access the lab, there's no need to leave. As long as it's someone we know. Yeah. Okay, now. So I can ask the engineering guys questions now. So analyst guys, you guys can relax. Thank you very much. Yeah, it will be marvelous. You guys will help me through this. So the next thing I want to do now is I want to start my Hive environment. But before that, yeah, after starting my Hive environment, I need to create a text file, then edit that text file, put in some, yeah, putting out the text file I'm creating is our input file for the, is our input data for the aggregated user-defined function we've built in the Java environment. Yeah, user-defined function algorithm we've built already. So you guys will help me with, yeah, you will help me with that. So you help me with navigating to my Hive directory and creating my text file and editing it. Okay. Ebube is also not here. Okay. So it's just Marvelous that is there. So that means I'm still seeing 10. Two people are missing and I can see 10 participants.
Sorry, sir. Please, why did you change the code? The code snippet. Why did you change the other time?
You said?
On the code snippet, you made some changes. Why did you change?
No, I didn't make any change on the code snippet.
If you change like something
Why?
like color to something, I'm not really sure.
No, I didn't change anything. I didn't.
Okay, thank you.
No. Wow, we're 9 people here and it's showing 10. Okay.
You can still be on the anyways.
You said? Sunday, are you saying anything?
I said analyst can still be on the anyways.
Oh, so you want me to ask you guys questions? Okay, that's great.
Sunday, relax.
You said relax. Wow. Okay, since Sunday you asked. Okay, so Sunday, how do I navigate to my Hive directory?
Is it to start it?
Yeah, I'm not starting Hive. I'm just trying to navigate to my Hive directory. You know, before I can start Hive, I need to go to the Hive directory to start it. It's like saying before I can launch an application, I need to go to that folder where the application is before I can launch it.
Maybe when we want to start the Hive, I'll join.
Does anyone want to help us? We did this thing yesterday.
I can try CD, then $,
Yeah.
Hive
Okay.
_home/bin.
Wow. Thank you very much. That's awesome. That's great. I'm happy you remembered. Some guys are finally joining us. Okay. Wow. I'm not sure we'll be able to do pig grunts today. If we are doing for Hive today, that means we'll be doing for pig grunts in the next 2 weeks. Wow. So the same thing we are doing for Hive today, we also need to do it for the pig environment also. Okay. Yeah, so Marvelous. Yeah. Marvelous, are you with us?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, so how far now, how would I create a text file, sample.txt?
Okay, we can. I think I'll use the cat command.
Okay, go
That's
on.
cat cat space greater than sign.
Okay.
Then the name of the text file sample.txt.
Okay. Yeah, so we are in. I can just paste my code, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. Then how do I save? How do I exit?
Okay, so Control D.
Control D to save. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. So how do I read? Can I see what's inside the text file?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so how do I read how do I read what's inside the text file and be sure it is done?
So cat,
Okay.
and we'll call the text file sample.txt.
Yeah, thank you very much. It is fine. Okay, so that's great. Henry, so we are going to give you a shine now. How do I start Hive? I said, did I say Henry? Sorry, I meant Sunday. Is Sunday with us? Oh no, he's not here anymore.
Yes, please, Sunday. I think it's Sunday you wanted to call.
Well, Sunday is not here anymore. Okay. So once to help us, how do I start Hive? You know, I've been accepting. Okay, go on.
Dot
Okay, dot.
forward slash
Okay, forward slash. Dot forward slash what?
Hive.
Okay, thank you very much. So that's how to start Hive. Dot forward slash Hive. But the major requirement is you must be inside the Hive directory. Okay, so I'll run that.
Please ask a question. Please, can you create your the text after starting?
You said, can I create my text file after starting Hive? No, I don't think so, because it's like as if when you start Hive, you're already inside your Hive console. So it's like as if you're asking me a question that can I create a text file while I'm inside my SQL environment? Is that possible? Okay, actually, it's possible. I saved everything I want to put inside a text file as a variable. It is actually, but I don't know. It's just best for you to create your text file first before going into your Hive environment. Now I'm going to clear all these logs. So to clear the logs is Control L. Yeah. So now we are going to create a database for this operation we want to do today. To create a database, you guys do SQL. How do I create a database? Okay. Create what? Let me just ask someone.
Create database if not exist.
I think you meant table, not database, yeah. Or if not exist. Yeah. Well, it should also work. Yeah, so create database. Okay, so the name of this database is IVUDF. Thank you very much, Henry.
Oh, I thought that when we created a database yesterday, I thought we included the if not exists command. That is to show that if the database we want to create is not already in the Hive environment.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Thank you very much. That's I'm happy you guys remembered all this. Okay. Okay, so it is done running. Toby, how do I select this database I just created as my default database that okay, any operation I'm running right now should use that database?
That's what you said now. So use Hive PDF.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. So now, this one is somewhat difficult. No, it's not difficult. It's simple actually. It is the same thing, syntax. Okay. Yeah, the man that doesn't like. Okay, don't let me cast him first. Don't let me say that first. Don't let me fall his hand. You bet. How do I create a table in SQL?
Create table.
Okay, create table. I'll give the name of my table, right? Yeah, thank you very much. So this time around, we're told to use some content. Yeah?
Sorry, I don't know if you could help out. I've been experiencing some errors in my VMware. I'm trying to start it since forever, and it's not opening. It's showing me Ubuntu Advanced. I'm not using my system, but I don't know if I can share a screenshot so you see what
Okay.
I'm talking.
Okay. So your VMware is more or less like, okay, I'm coming. Let me stop sharing my screen. So this isn't part of, it's not part of my stuff that I'm meant to do. So if you're having issues with VMware installation and the rest, it should be manual to help you undo that. But share your screen. Let's look at it together.
No, I said I wasn't share. I'm not using my system at the moment. I don't know if I could share a screenshot in the chat section.
Yeah, you can. Sure.
Okay, sir.
Oh. Yeah, you can share it. Then I would also implore you to reach out to Emmanuel. Yeah. Okay. So look at
All
what
right,
you
sir.
dropped.
I just did.
Okay. So every time you start your VMware, is this what it brings out?
No, today is like the first time I'm ever seeing this.
Okay. So now what you do is, wait, have you started it already?
Yeah, I've started it already. After displaying that command line, you just pop this up. So I closed it and restarted it, and it's still showing me the same thing. So I think he is expecting me to.
So select Ubuntu if that's the OS you are trying to use. Press
Okay.
enter.
Okay. Let me try. Oh.
Is it fine?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it's similar.
Okay.
I'll
So I'll
update you
just
on what
continue.
next. Sir. Thank you,
Yeah,
sir.
so sorry, before you
Yeah, I think
continue, I'd like
it's fine. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So I want to Mr. Fenimore.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can hear you.
I want to come in at this juncture because I want to apologize. I think the reason why we've been feeling this way is because of my absence yesterday. I was having some personal issues. I think I discussed with Mr. Nano. So that was the reason why I wasn't consistent online yesterday. That's why I couldn't participate much. And I really apologize that I didn't do so. But I do my best to follow the classes and I watch the videos. And I just wanted to say that, just to clear that out.
Okay, no problem now. No wala. I didn't even know you're not around. Funny enough.
No, I came online, but I just had to because, yeah.
Oh, okay, no problem now. No wala now.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just create the table. I guess from here on, I can just paste the codes to do that. So this table is a text file object. Yeah, because it is being saved as a text file. Okay, so now that I've created the table, the next thing should most likely be loading data into this table. So now, yeah, the code to load data into the table. Okay, let me just type all these ones, they're quite small. So load data in file. Oh, sorry, not in file. For your IFQ, it is impact. Load data, local impact. Yep. Then you specify the directory. Yeah. /usr /local /i /bin /sample.txt. Okay, so there's an error. Okay. Okay. Oh, let me try that again. The colon. Okay. Okay. See. Oh, can you imagine? I'm loading data. I didn't specify the table I'm loading the data into. Load data into table. What's the name of the table? Some content in English US. Okay, so let's see. So it is loading data. Okay, it's done. So it took about 2.65 seconds to load that data. Yeah. So like I told you guys now, our input file is a text file. So the particular word we are trying to convert from American English to English UK is the word color. So the name of our table is some content in English US. Yeah, like that. So now the next thing we are going to do is we are going to add our jar file that we created. And to add our jar file as an extension, as a plausible extension, to add our jar file, the code is, so you type add jar, add jar. So it's just the normal SQL syntax. So if you want to create a table, you say create table, table name. So if you want to add a jar file, you say add jar, jar file name. So the name of our jar file, we need to specify the directory /home /user /data. Then we have to put our workspace, our jar file name ivdf.jar. Okay, so let's run that. Okay, so it has added that resource. It has added the jar file as the resources. So that means if we call a function, yeah. So first of all, to create the function, yes, we need to create the function. So to create the function, so let's say create temporary function. Yeah. So create temporary function, then you put the function you want to create. The same way if you are trying to create a table, you say create table, you put the name of the table you want to create. So to create this function, we say create temporary function. Then you put the name of the function you want to create. That is, you refer to the package name, you refer to the package name and the jar file implementation, okay, of the function you want to create. Function, okay. So yeah, the name of the function I want to create is, so we are trying to convert from American English to British English. So let's call it to English. Or yeah, should I use what they used here? Or well, let me just use the same thing. To English UK. That's quite long. Or should I use UK English for the function name? Yeah, let's make it interesting. Let's use UK English. Okay, as so we specify, we call the package name and the Java class implementation. Okay, so to do that, we say com dot let's do big data dot. So the name of this Java class that contains our conversion algorithm is to English UK. Okay, semicolon. Let's enter that. Okay, yes, so it's done.
So, sorry, I was looking at my VMware when you did all of this, but so I'm going through, I'm following up with my workbook, and I can see where we created from our sample text. Where we created the sample text. Did we impute the contents of the sample text, or because what I can see here after creating the sample text file, they wrote some things inside the text. So did you do it when you created the sample text file? That's one marvelous code.
Yeah, we did that. We wrote those things inside the sample text file.
Okay, the whole web colors are colors used in.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay.
Okay, so Macron told us to use the cat method and not the open6 editor method. So you might want to use that too.
Okay, so when he created the cat sample.txt, he went into edit mode to edit what the sample.txt file was.
No, so basically when you say cat greater than the name of your text file, what it does is that if that text file exists, it would open it for you to edit it. But if it doesn't exist, it will create it for you to edit it. So it's like you're entering the editor mode directly. And since it is a text file, once you say cat greater than the text file, anything you type afterwards, you are typing it into the text file until you press enter and Control D to save. Then and Control D to save. Then it wouldn't, you wouldn't be doing anything at all than just typing into your text file. So what we did was, when we created the text file, I just copied everything that was meant to be inside the text file, pasted it, then pressed Ctrl D to save it. Then in order to read it, we typed the command cat sample.txt, and we found out that everything that we pasted was inside the text file. So we are good to go. That's what we did. I don't know if that's clear enough, Henry.
Yeah, it is. But okay. It's is the wordings in that sample.txt file, is it in the code snippet, or we just type it out ourselves?
So basically, the wordings are also inside the code snippets also. They are inside the code snippets. But I didn't type it out. I just copied it from the beginning to the end.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Okay. I've seen. I was looking for the code snippet. I just saw it. There were like 3 Hive and Pig code snippets here, so I just saw it.
Okay. Okay. So now, guys, we are done creating the function. So since we are done creating the function, first of all, let's check what's inside our text file. So that means we have to say select all from the table it is saved on. So select all from. So the name of our table is some content in English US. Okay. Okay, yeah, so this is everything we have inside our text file. Web colors are colors used in displaying web pages. and the method of describing, on and on like that. So now, next thing, so what's the syntax for applying a function to your operation? So let's say I want to select maximum, the maximum profit recorded in that year now. So I would have said select max. So I'll call the name of the column I want to work on. Select max profit from, so we'll put the name of our table. Let's say the name of our table is transactions. So basically, I'm expecting this to return an error. I'm just doing this for syntax, just to show you guys syntax. So now what I'll do is the name of my function in this scenario. The name of my function in this scenario is to English. No, the name of the function I created was not to English. Sorry, someone should remind me, what's the name of the function I created? And I changed the name. Okay, I've seen the name. Someone should tell me, what's the name of the function I created? Wow. What's the name of the function I created? Someone should help me.
UK English.
Thank you very much. Who is that? Okay, let me check. Who just spoke? Was it Marvelous? Who just answered no? Okay, yeah, it's Marvelous. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, the name of the function I created was UK English. So now I wanted to perform the action on everything in the text file. So I'll put star, which indicates all. And the name of the table is some content in English US. Some content in English US. So if I press star, it should return. So now look at these words here. Colors. Colors is spelled as COLORS. So by the time I would run this script or this query, it will return colors as COLOURS. Okay, so here it is. Every COLORS has been changed to COLOURS. So that's that for this lab, creating user-defined functions in your IFKL. So where is this useful? You can use it in implementing all sorts of data structure and algorithm techniques, and call it as a customized function in your IFKL. So let's say you want to create and you want to implement your graph and trees operation, your mapper operation, or you want to create an algorithm like, let's say maybe your Fibonacci series, your greatest sum divisor, all sorts of algorithms or functions from data for manipulating data that you want to do. So you can actually create that. So that is that for Hive. The next one, so this thing we have done for Hive, we're actually going to do the same thing for your pig grunts. Yeah, we're actually going to do the same thing for your pig grunts. And for your pig grunts, we have about 2 labs there. So the very first lab involves we adding Mr. and Mrs. to text file, to every line of a text file. Because in that text file, every row is an entry of someone's name. Yeah, and in the second lab, so that's just that for the pig. Yeah, that's that for the pig grunts lab. So that is all. Okay, let me confirm from here. Oh, that is that for the second lab. Oh, for the very first lab, it's just a normal like map reduce problem we're trying to do. We are just going to try to get the maximum temperature. And for the second lab, we'll add Mr. and Mrs. to people's names. So that's just all. And our time is fast spent. I don't know if we can do that today. After which, once we are done with pig runs, we'll go to scalar and Spark fundamentals. Finally, we'll start doing that looks like Python. We'll start doing something that looks like Python before going to cloud computing. Wow, the interesting part, working with AWS, then working with MySQL. Wow, so that means the MySQL you guys are actually doing right now with your workbench. You will still come to your Daska engineering lab and do it with scope. That's actually the funny thing. So I'm happy you guys are already learning MySQL now. Yeah. So that means MySQL is already installed, let me guess, on the lab environment. Okay. Okay, wow, that's awesome. Okay, so that's that for this lab. Thank you very much for today. I don't know if anyone has any question. Yeah, so I can see something interesting that is, yeah, something that interests me that I want to try out. Okay, so to quit my Hive environment, I need to press quit. I need to type in quit and run it. So to exit this environment, you type quit and put your semicolon. That's all. So let me know if you have questions. Yeah, let me show you guys the MySQL. Yeah, a perfect example for what we're trying to do with MySQL. I just found it now that we actually have it. Yeah, we actually have it in the lab manual. It is actually there. Wow. Okay, let's not move too far ahead. When we get there, I'll remind you guys that we spoke about it, about running MySQL in command line. So that's all for today's class. Thank you very much. I don't want to load you guys with so much stuff, like back to back. We had the class yesterday, then having another class today again also. That would be so much work for people to do. So let's just keep it at that for Hive. Since we treated Hive yesterday and we are completing Hive today, I guess that's enough then. So now I don't know if I'll see you guys next week, but most likely you'll be seeing Edward all through. So good luck. Have a nice day. Thank you for coming. Remember to always stop at. No, we don't have a class tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's no I don't know if there is a data engineering. There's no data engineering class tomorrow. Yeah, it was shifted till today, most likely because of the industry case stuff you guys want to do. To know.
Okay.
Yeah, so before you quit your VMware, always remember to stop Hadoop. Always remember to stop Hadoop before you quit your VMware or you shut it down. Don't just press X like that. Okay, so thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Yeah, that's all for today. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much,
Mr.
I really appreciate the class today.
Thank